There comes a time in life when the people who once wronged you suddenly realize what they've lost. In that moment, regret hits them. They begin to recall the value you added to their life, the loyalty, the support, the love. But when someone leaves or breaks your trust, it's not your job to be the cushion they fall back on. When someone disrespects you, mistreats you, or fails to see your worth, it can shake your confidence. But this is exactly the moment when you must remember your value more than ever. It's easy to feel discouraged or wonder what you did wrong when someone you truly cared for decides to walk away. But how they treated you speaks more about them than it does about you. Your value is something no one else has the power to define. It's not something to debate. It doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion. When you truly know your worth, you create standards for how others should treat you. You realize that respect, loyalty, and love aren't just things you give away. They're earned. And when someone disrespects those things, they lose the right to receive them. People may try to justify their actions, saying everyone makes mistakes and no one's perfect. That may be true. But knowing your worth means you understand that some actions cross a line that should never be crossed. And once that line is crossed, there's no going back. Your worth is built in. It exists whether people see it or not. It comes from within, shaped over time through your experiences, your challenges, your victories, and how much love you give to yourself. So when someone regrets letting you go, it's because they finally understand what they had. But that doesn't mean they deserve a second chance. Many times, people don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. They overlook your kindness, your loyalty, and the effort you put in because they assume you'll always be around. But when you step back and reclaim your worth, that's when they begin to see what they've truly lost. Suddenly, they come back with apologies, filled with regret and promises to do better. But this is where knowing your worth becomes crucial. Regret doesn't always mean respect. Just because they miss you doesn't mean they've learned to value you. Often, regret is rooted in selfishness. They miss the comfort you gave them, the stability, the love, the support. But those are things you should never have to ask for. And if someone could only understand your value after causing you pain, they never really respected you. They just miss the perks of having you in their life. That's not love, it's convenience. And convenience is never a strong enough reason to give someone another shot. Knowing your worth means being firm in your choice not to take them back. It's not about being cruel or unforgiving. It's about protecting your energy, your peace of mind, and your heart. When you allow someone back into your life after they didn't value you before, you send a message that you're okay with being mistreated. You lower your standards just to make room for their mistakes. And in doing so, you let yourself down. True self-worth means not lowering your expectations for anyone, no matter how sorry they claim to be. Let's be honest. People who really understand your value won't need a second chance to treat you right. They won't need to lose you to recognize what you bring into their life. They'll respect you from the beginning. They'll see your worth in how you carry yourself, in the way you love, in the way you support them, and they'll cherish that. These are the people you want in your corner, the ones who never make you question your value. For those who couldn't see your worth when they had the chance, letting them go is the best decision, for them and for you. For them, it's a lesson. They need to understand that actions come with consequences, and losing someone like you is one of those consequences. For you, it's about protecting your peace, keeping your standards high, and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. You deserve people who recognize your value without needing to lose you first. People who lift you up, who stand by your side, and who treat you the way you should be treated. So when someone who once failed to do that tries to come back into your life, remind yourself that their regret does not make them deserving. Their regret is not your responsibility. It's not your job to fix them or to give them the chance to make things right again. Your worth is not up for negotiation. It's something you carry within you every day, and it should guide the choices you make, especially about who you allow back into your space. You owe it to yourself to move forward, to keep growing, and to protect your peace of mind. Let their regret be their weight to carry, not yours. You already know your worth, and that is all the validation you need. Losing someone or feeling left behind can be one of the hardest things to experience. It can shake you deeply and make you question everything, your choices, your value, and sometimes even the direction of your life. But what feels like an ending is often just the beginning of something far better. Loss, though painful, is often the spark that leads to personal growth. It forces you to think, to rebuild, and to become a stronger version of yourself. When someone leaves or betrays you, it's not only about what you lose, it's also about the chance that opens up for you to grow. Growth after loss is one of the toughest lessons life teaches. It's hard to see the light when you're going through heartbreak or disappointment. But every setback, every betrayal, every time you're overlooked or left behind, each of these moments carries the potential for transformation. When someone regrets losing you, it's usually because they never expected you to rise without them. They thought you'd remain stuck, that their absence would leave you shattered. What they didn't expect was for that pain to become the fire that pushes you to grow. It's completely normal to feel the weight of heartbreak, the sadness, the doubt, the confusion. It's a heavy load. But over time, something changes. You begin to see that their absence created space. Space for you to focus on yourself. Space to learn new things. Space to build your mindset. Space to go after goals you may have ignored while putting someone else first. This is where the transformation begins, often in the quiet, when you're alone, thinking deeply about who you are and who you want to be. Being left or treated poorly often pushes you into self-reflection. You start looking at your life, your choices, and your relationships more clearly. And most importantly, you begin to see yourself differently. This reflection can be hard, even painful, but it's necessary. Real growth doesn't come from staying comfortable. It comes from facing challenges. And loss is one of the biggest challenges you'll face. It makes you ask the tough questions. Who am I without this person? What do I truly want? What have I ignored in myself just to keep this relationship going? These questions bring clarity, and once you find that clarity, you gain the power to change your life. The beautiful thing about growing through loss is that you discover more about yourself. As you work through the pain, you uncover strengths you didn't know you had. You realize you're stronger than you ever gave yourself credit for. You start setting better boundaries. You make your well-being a priority. And you begin chasing after what genuinely brings you joy. In doing all of this, you begin to attract better things, better people, better chances, and a better life. You start bringing in people who value you, opportunities that fit your goals. These things come into your life because you raised your standards and learned to protect your peace. When someone regrets losing you, it's often because they now see how much you've grown. They see you didn't fall apart. In fact, you became even better. And that's what surprises them. They thought leaving would break you. Instead, it helped you grow. Their absence didn't create a hole. It made space for self-love, for self-respect, and for true empowerment. You took the hurt they caused and turned it into strength. You took their decision to leave and used it to step into your potential. But let's be clear, growing through loss doesn't mean forgetting the pain or pretending it didn't matter. It means you took something painful and learned from it. Every hard moment leaves behind a lesson, and those lessons shape you into a wiser, tougher, and more powerful version of yourself. You learn what you will accept and what you won't. You learn who deserves your trust and who doesn't. Most importantly, you learn to trust yourself again. You discover that no matter what life throws at you, you have the ability to get through it. As you grow, you also become more independent. You no longer rely on others to give you a sense of worth or to make you happy. You realize that everything you need is already within you. And once you understand that, no one can take it from you. The people who walked away, the ones who couldn't see your value, they become distant memories. They may regret losing you, but by the time they do, you've already moved on. You've outgrown the person you were when you needed them. They were part of your life when you were someone else. Before you grew, before you changed. You've become someone new, someone who no longer fits into the small space they once had in your life. The journey of growth that comes through loss isn't an easy one, but it's one of the most powerful transformations you'll ever go through. It builds your strength, teaches you how to stand on your own, and shows you how deeply you can change. You come out the other side stronger, clearer, and more certain of what you want and what you will never settle for again. So when someone expresses regret about losing you, don't see it as a reason to let them back in. See it as proof that you've grown beyond them. You've taken that loss and used it to push yourself forward, and that growth is something no one can take from you. Keep pushing forward, keep transforming, and never accept less than you know you deserve. When someone has mistreated you, it's easy for them to come back later with regret and apologies. They might try to tell you they've changed, that they finally see your worth, and that they should be given another shot. But here's what's important to understand. Every action has a consequence. If someone has caused you pain, broken your trust, or taken you for granted, they have to live with the result of those choices. Being accountable isn't just a nice idea. It's a life lesson everyone needs to learn. Without accountability, people will keep repeating the same behavior, not only toward you but with others too. When someone hurts you, they're rarely thinking about the lasting damage. They might act out of their own selfishness, fears, or because they don't value your feelings. They may assume you'll always be there no matter how they treat you. They think time and a few sweet words will make everything go back to how it used to be. But when someone crosses a line with you, it can't just be smoothed over with talk. They have to sit with the truth that their choices caused real harm, and that they no longer get to be in your life the same way they were before. This is where true accountability matters. When someone loses access to you because of how they treated you, they should feel the full weight of that loss. This isn't about getting even. It's about making sure they learn. If they aren't held responsible, they won't change. They'll keep moving through life thinking they can mistreat people, toss out a half-hearted apology, and all will be forgiven. But that's not how real life works, and it shouldn't be how you live your life either. Letting someone avoid the consequences of their behavior doesn't help them, and it doesn't help you. It only increases the chance that they'll hurt you again, while leaving you with unresolved pain. Holding someone accountable means they must fully grasp the impact of their actions. It's not enough for them to say sorry. They need to realize the emotional, mental, and even physical pain their behavior caused. They must see that trust, once broken, is very hard to rebuild, and sometimes it never comes back at all. When someone tries to return to your life after hurting you, their regret often comes from their own discomfort, not the damage they left behind. They miss your love, your support, your presence, but they don't always fully consider the pain they caused. That's not real accountability. That's just them feeling sorry for themselves. Holding someone accountable doesn't mean you hold on to bitterness or stay angry forever. It doesn't mean you never forgive. Forgiveness helps you release the pain, but it doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It doesn't mean giving someone a free pass back into your life without any consequences. You can forgive someone, but still not trust them. You can let go of the pain, and still know that they no longer deserve a place in your world. In some situations, the best form of accountability is to walk away for good and let them live with the fact that their actions ended something valuable. Remember, accountability goes both ways. You also need to look at yourself and ask, what will I accept? What are my limits? What kind of treatment will I allow? And once you've set your boundaries, stick to them, even when it's hard. Sometimes when people regret losing you, they come back with dramatic apologies, trying to pull on your emotions. They might make promises or try to remind you of good times, hoping you'll give in. But real accountability means you hold your ground. You don't let guilt or memories cloud your decision. Respect yourself enough to say, you made a choice. Now you have to live with it. By holding someone accountable, you're not just teaching them. You're honoring yourself. You're showing them they can't treat people badly and still expect the same love and care they once had. You're proving that respect, loyalty, and trust aren't just words. They're earned through consistent effort and behavior. When you enforce consequences, you're setting a clear standard for others and for yourself. You're saying loud and clear that you deserve better and will no longer accept anything less. People often feel regret when they lose someone who brought real value to their life. But regret alone is not enough to rebuild a relationship. Regret might be the start, but what follows next is what really counts. That next step is accountability. It's what shows whether someone truly understands what they've done. If someone is really sorry, they won't push you to move on quickly. They'll accept the time and effort it takes to rebuild trust, if that's even possible. They'll understand that their actions had a lasting effect. Holding people responsible helps you protect your self-worth and peace of mind. It's a form of emotional self-protection. You're saying, I matter. My feelings matter. My time matters. It forces the other person to face what they've done and maybe learn from it. But it's not your job to guide their growth, especially if it means sacrificing your own well-being. Sometimes the biggest lesson you can give someone is letting them sit in the reality that they can't always come back after they've caused damage. When they feel regret, let them. Let them carry that feeling. Let that regret be their reminder that choices have consequences. You don't need to fix it for them. Accountability means letting them experience the results of their own behavior while you continue moving forward, stronger and wiser. When someone loses you, they might come back with all the right words. They'll paint a beautiful picture of what the future could be. They'll promise that things will be different this time. But words aren't enough. If they really want to be part of your life again, they have to prove it. Apologies alone don't rebuild trust. Real change is shown through consistent behavior, not just emotional speeches. Change doesn't happen in a moment, and it doesn't happen just because someone misses what they lost. Behavior always tells the truth. You'll see their true intentions in what they do, not in what they say. It's easy to say, I'm sorry, or I've changed. It's much harder to show it through action over time. An apology with no change behind it is just noise. It's a bandage on a wound that needs deep, careful healing. When someone truly realizes the harm they've done, they'll go beyond saying they're sorry. They'll show it in how they act, how they speak, and how they treat you and others moving forward. They'll take responsibility for their past and show through their daily choices that they are becoming someone better. Real change isn't just about feeling bad. It's about deciding to be different every single day. Many people will make promises hoping to get back what they lost. They'll say anything they think you want to hear. But watch what they do, not just what they say. Are they taking steps to rebuild? Are they showing up for real this time? Or are they hoping a few nice words will cover up the damage? Consistency is what tells you the truth. Change doesn't show in a week or two. It doesn't even show in a few months. It reveals itself over time, through patience, growth, and steady effort. If someone really wants to do better, you'll see it in every part of their life. They won't just act differently with you. They'll become different in how they live, how they respond to challenges, and how they treat everyone around them. Always remember, just because someone regrets losing you doesn't mean they should be allowed back. Regret is natural when someone loses something valuable. But regret is not the same as real change. And it doesn't guarantee they won't hurt you again. Holding on to someone who doesn't treat you right is a much deeper loss than walking away. You lose your peace of mind, your self-respect, and your ability to grow into the person you're meant to be. You block the chance to build meaningful, respectful relationships. Letting go makes room in your life for healing, growth, and healthier connections. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring about the person or wish them harm. It just means you are choosing to put yourself first. You can still care about them, wish them the best, and hope they grow into a better version of themselves, but from a distance. You don't have to keep someone in your life to prove you're kind or forgiving. Real forgiveness can happen quietly, from far away, without their presence. It gives both of you the chance to grow and heal separately. Letting go can be the only way someone learns. If they're never held accountable, if they're always allowed back into your life without making any effort to change, they won't learn what respect, trust, or loyalty truly mean. By letting them go, you give them the space to reflect on what they've done, to understand what they've lost, and maybe to grow from it. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone who hurt you is to let them face the impact of their actions. That's how they learn that not everyone can be taken for granted. Letting go doesn't erase the pain right away. It's a journey. It takes time, patience, and strength. There will be days when doubts creep in, when memories hit hard, and you wonder if you made the right choice. But slowly, you begin to feel lighter, calmer, and more in control. You begin to feel your power again. You start to remember who you are, what you deserve, and how capable you are of moving forward without being weighed down by old pain. Letting go of someone who hurt you is a powerful way to take back your strength. It's choosing your peace. It's deciding that you won't settle for heartbreak, broken promises, or constant disappointment. It's making space in your life for people who truly see your worth, who respect and care for you in the way you deserve. Letting go doesn't make you weak. It proves how strong you are. It shows that you're committed to building a life full of respect, joy, and real peace. When someone loses you and realizes what they had, they might come back asking for another chance. They might say they've changed, that they've learned their lesson, that they'll treat you better this time. But the truth is, most of the time, giving them another chance only drags you back into the same cycle that hurt you in the first place. There was a reason things ended. And while it's nice to think that time apart has changed them, the truth is, people rarely change without making serious effort. Going back to someone who once hurt you often just opens the door to more of the same pain. Relationships that end because of betrayal, disrespect, or emotional damage usually do so because of deep problems in how the relationship was handled. Maybe it was about broken trust, a lack of care, or repeated disrespect of your boundaries. These problems don't disappear overnight. If someone wants to come back into your life without fixing those issues, then they're not really offering anything new. They're just offering the same hurt in a different moment. People can say they've changed, but unless you've seen real, consistent growth, it's likely they're just hoping you've forgotten why it all fell apart. Giving someone a second chance doesn't just open the door to being hurt again, it also blocks your own healing. It keeps you stuck in a past that no longer serves you. When you focus all your energy on fixing something broken, you miss the chance to heal, to grow, and to find the kind of love that's actually good for your soul. Staying in the past with someone who once hurt you keeps you locked in a pattern of pain and stress. It takes away the peace and fulfillment that come with choosing yourself. It's natural to want to fix things. It's human to want to believe people can change. But more often than not, giving someone another chance only repeats the same story. You may find yourself walking on eggshells, constantly second-guessing them, wondering if they're being honest this time, or fearing that they'll hurt you again. That emotional stress is not healthy. It robs you of your inner calm, your sense of trust, and your emotional stability. Nobody deserves to live like that, always anxious, always wondering. Trust, once broken, takes a long time to rebuild. It takes steady actions, honesty, and a true willingness to grow. But too often, people come back not because they've changed, but because they miss the comfort you gave them. They miss your support, your love, your loyalty, but that doesn't mean they're ready to give those things to you. Many times, their return is about their own needs, not what's best for you. Saying sorry is easy. Truly changing is not. Unless they've done the inner work and faced the truth of their behavior, they'll probably hurt you again. One of the most important things to understand is this: not everyone who regrets losing you deserves to come back. Just because they now see your value doesn't mean they should be allowed back into your life. Their regret is not your responsibility to solve. You don't owe them another chance simply because they say they've changed. Your first concern should be your own peace, your own healing, and your own happiness, not making them feel better about the mistakes they made. The time and energy you spend trying to fix a broken relationship is time you could be using to rebuild yourself. Every moment spent trying to make things work with someone who hurt you is time that delays your healing. You stay stuck, not knowing if things will ever be better, and you miss out on new connections and personal growth. There's a powerful kind of freedom that comes from choosing not to go back. It's a sign that you value yourself. It shows that you understand your worth and are willing to walk away from something that's no longer good for your heart. You're choosing peace over pain, self-love over old wounds. When you decide not to give someone a second chance, you're opening yourself to something new happiness, new peace, and new people who will love you without hurting you first. You are putting yourself first, and there is nothing wrong with that. You're not being cold, you're being strong. The truth is, people who hurt you once often hurt you again, especially if they haven't done the real work to change. Taking them back sends a message that they don't have to do better, that they can return any time, no matter how they treated you. It tells them they don't have to grow, because you'll always be there, waiting. But your heart deserves more. Your life is too valuable to be spent on someone who doesn't respect it. Saying no to a second chance is about protecting your peace. It's about understanding that your time and energy should go to people who truly appreciate you. People who don't need to lose you to realize what they had. You deserve to be loved by someone who gets it from the start. Someone who doesn't need to be taught how to treat you well. Someone who doesn't cause damage and expect to be let back in just because they're sorry. By choosing not to take someone back, you're creating a life where peace, love, and genuine care are the norm, not the exception. You're proving to yourself that your future matters more than your past. You're showing yourself that you're strong enough to walk away from what hurts, even if it once felt like love. The strength to let go and move forward comes from knowing who you are and what you truly deserve. You don't need to settle for someone who only realized your value after they broke your trust. You deserve someone who recognizes it from day one. In the end, not everyone who misses you should be allowed back into your life. Trust, once damaged, is hard to rebuild, and second chances often repeat the same pain. Your peace, your self-respect, and your emotional health are far too important to risk on someone who has already shown they can hurt you. By choosing to move on, you take back your power. You build stronger boundaries. and you create space for the love, respect, and joy that you've always deserved. Let them regret losing you. You keep moving forward, stronger, wiser, and more confident than ever, knowing that better days and better people are ahead.